Hello and very good evening to one and all. And it's my pleasure to have you all on this Saturday. And believe me, this is going to be a totally different Saturday, which we have spent together. We're coming out with one more different format, and this time it's something which is called Keralife, and this is something which is very close to my heart. This is purely because it's nothing to do with cornea, it's nothing to do with ophthalmology, but it's everything to do with life. So we're going to have totally different things here, from like fitness to self-development to maybe finance, and you name the things, we will have it here. And that's the me time which we all will have, and that's the time where we learn from each other. This time we're going to start with something which is related to health and fitness, body and mental health. Before we start, let me introduce my friend and the person who is behind this entire program, which is Gyan Medi. Gyan, his fitness background leaving aside, Gyan is one of the most sweet person, and I would say probably sweetest person I've come across, and really loving person. Whenever I see him, I feel like I would want to spend time with this guy, and that's something which I really feel that everybody echoes that. When we decided about this format of having something which is hatke or different, and he was the one who said, you know what, I take this thing, and he decided to take up this opportunity. And here he came out with a wonderful program, and we are kick-starting this session today. Over to you, Gyan. And before I hand it over to Gyan, I would like you all to register for next KeraCon, which is on 9th, 10th, and 11th December at Mumbai at JW Marriott. The registrations have opened up, and let's register and have great time together in Mumbai. Thank you very much, and over to you, Gyan. What a wonderful session we're going to have. I'm so excited about this thing.
Thank you, Himanshu. Very kind words. Appreciate your initiative to conceive this series, Keralife. It's something balance between work and life. So we'll start our series of Keralife with the fitness, health and fitness, as Himanshu has said. Most of us, in fact, many of us, we get busy with the professional life and then tend to push our health to the background. But as we can see, there are some very hectic professionals with hectic schedules who do keep maintaining their fitness schedules. We went ahead and invited three of the stalwarts of ophthalmology, Dr. Virendra Sanghwan, Dr. Rajesh Fogla, and Dr. Amrita, to share us how they do and what they do to keep their fitness intact. To conduct this session, I would like to invite Dr. Jai and Dr. Rishi, two fitness enthusiasts, and also marathon runners who were the run ambassadors in the Run for Sight in the recently concluded AIOC. Dr. Jai, Dr. Rishi, over to you to conduct this session. May I invite Dr. Sanghwan, Dr. Rajesh Fogla, and Dr. Amrita again, once again, to this session of Keralife.
Thanks, Nan, and I think it's going to be a very exciting session. All three are achievers in their own field academically, but they've also achieved something beyond that, and I think they are the right people to inspire everybody. Fitness is something all of us must imbibe in our life. We realize this way too late. I think most of us have got into this journey much later than we should have, and I'm hoping that many of the young people who are part of this group will look at this and make it a part of their life much earlier than most of us who have done it after reaching our near midlives. So I'll let Zai take over and start the session.
It's a very good initiative, and before, I'm sure the audience is very keen to listen to the stalwarts now. So maybe we can start with Dr. Sanghwan.
Yes, thank you very much, Jai, and let me share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much for this great opportunity, and which is very different than our usual talks. Running at me when Rishi and Himanshu, they asked me about it, and Gyan, they asked me about it. I said, okay, I'll do it. You think if I'm something I have done in this area, I will definitely share what I have done so far. And so let us start. Is my screen shared?
Sir, you can put it on a slideshow, sir.
Yeah, it is on slideshow, but it says your screen sharing is paused.
Yes, sir. You can reshare again, sir. It will come.
Okay. I just I unshare and then
yes.
I should stop sharing and then start again.
Yes, sir.
All right. Is this okay now?
Yes.
And it is in the slideshow mode.
Yes, sir.
You know, this is a photograph of 2005. Me and Rajesh in Chennai for a lamellar keratoplasty conference, which he and Dr. Srinivasa organized. And you'll see both of us looking in that very healthy, me particularly, and I did have some hairs at that time. Now, comparison. These are 2015 on the left side, and this in the green t-shirt is 2016. And the podium picture is in Bangladesh in 2019. So there is a difference. And at that stage, I started realizing that, yes, it is actually possible to change the body type. It's fixed. That before that, I used to believe that it's not possible to change. Whatever you do, you will look the same, you remain the same. And then Rajesh recently shared with me this picture, which is again 17 years apart, 2005. And surprisingly, Rajesh looks exactly the same. There's hardly any difference. If you look at, or I don't know whether he has kept his both pictures before and after the same picture. And my picture, he has put the recent one. This one is not about me. It's about the buffalo, which has a QR code in the air. This is my village. And I was very surprised that the technology has reached to buffaloes also. And my picture looked, very different in the profile view. And I was very happy to see the way I look. The fitness journey, I started sometime in 2017. I'll come to it, but just in summary, since 2017 May, I have my total mileage is 6,000 plus, and the longest I have run in the training is 30 kilometers, and 10 to 12 kilometers is the normal for the last 2 years, I would say. Before that, it was not that consistent, but for the last year and a half, 2 years, it has been very consistent. And the idea of recording your runs and keeping a record is very helpful. I'll come to that later. How did I start? Like many of you, and I started racing even much later than you. I started after 50, 52 or 53. And I believe the second half of life is going to be more interesting than the first half.
Because we started together.
I'll come to that, but you are much younger than me. So, the second half of the life is going to be much better because all our chemical locha in the mind is over. So now we can focus on real stuff. So this is the picture of a run for sight in ASCRS 2017, for which I had registered and went for the run. Could not run even 200 meters. And my legs were cramping. I could not breathe properly. And one of my colleagues from Duke, she's the head of cornea service there, and she said, "No, we can't complete. Let's go back." I said, "No way. I'm going to walk whatever time it takes." And like many of you, I have been in that mode of start, stop, excuses for not able to get up early, too busy. So 35 years went like that. So that day, I realized I'm grossly overweight, I'm grossly unfit. The moment I came back, I registered for a Hyderabad Airtel Marathon. That was in August, and I started in May. Then I'll come to those things later. So what normally my mind does is that I try to break down, like in clinicals or surgical, I try to break down the problems into parts and develop and solve the problems in a component manner. So for example, first thing I did was habit of developing and nurturing the habit of waking up early. And so first 1 year, I just started getting up early and going for a walk, then increase my pace of walking. Then I started, okay, now what next? That is the time when I started thinking about Airtel Marathon. And before that, there's many things happened. Milind Nayak from LVP pushed me, convinced me that start gymming and you'll really love it and it will help you in your running also. So this was our 5 a.m. club of LVP faculty in a gym nearby. And this was some of my glimpses of my training at that time. So I was quite that serious in gymming, and thanks to Milind, that he gave me very good advice that I should have a personal trainer and I should spend money and not leave in between. So for 9 months, I was very regular in gymming and going at 5 a.m. And that changed the way I looked at the fitness. This is the time that we ran in August 2017, the 10K, and Rishi was in running with me. You can see some of the pictures here. And that was, I think that was the most fascinating experience when we entered in the Gachibowli Stadium. Just being in the crowd and participating. In fact, after 10K, I started dancing. So Rashmi, one of my colleagues from LUTC said, "Sir, आपके पास कहाँ से आई इतनी energy? मैं तो चल भी नहीं पा रही हूँ." She also did 10K. And this is 2018. You develop friendship, liking, and this is my kind of farewell by my Hyderabad buddies, 3 of them. We went after the run and the practice in KBR. We went for a breakfast. And that's a pick in 2018, sometime in the first half, I think before June or July. Then in Delhi, I participated in the Delhi Airtel Marathon in 2018 October, and I shifted in September. October, I participated in the Airtel Marathon, and this is in 2019. And got to interact with Sachin.
मगर
who
दूसरा
launched the
उससे
race.
भी और बड़ा कॉज है, मैं कहूँगा कि हम यहाँ पे जो
I love to be in
funds
such
collect
kind of an
करें,
atmosphere, and that
10
basically
push-ups करके,
inspires and activates
वो
people to
हम
go out.
डोनेट करने जा रहे हैं इंडिया के वीर फंड को. फीलिंग्स और यही उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आप सब मुझे ज्वाइन करोगे और उसके बाद you'll enjoy your beautiful run. So all the very best. Enjoy this moment, guys.
Some more moments of our flag off ceremony, and this was in Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium early in the morning. This was still I did 10K here, and during this run I had the best personal time of 58 minutes. Then I got my family, practically everyone in the family, my brothers, sisters, my bhabis and my nephews, nieces, to run in the formal 10Ks, 5Ks with me. Then run with friends. We ran in a hotel in San Francisco, from the hotel to the Golden Gate Bridge. It's about 10 or 11 kilometers, and you can see all the Konya stalwarts here. We ran together and enjoyed a taxi ride back and had breakfast together. This is Prashant and Gaurav, who were in Hyderabad, and we ran together. Prashant is one of the person I will attribute that he was very, very helpful and practically my guru. And we started a group called Running Buddies on my request, because I used to ask him so many questions. Then I said, why don't you start a WhatsApp group? And that's how Running Buddies, with 3 of us, it started, which is now a fairly big group. This is with Gyan and Rajesh in Guwahati. So wherever I go, I try to find ways and means that how I can run, with whom I can run. If I don't find anyone, I'll run by myself. So running has become part of my daily routine, and in whichever city I go. Another idea that I share with you: when you run, think of doing some social service, a cause, a purpose. Last year, I started preparing for Airtel Hyderabad Marathon, and soon I realized, while I'm running for fitness, why not to raise some money? Then I stumbled upon Let's Change platform, and that changed the whole scenario and helped me raise so much money. I raised the money for eye cancer because this is such an important and emotive cause, and I care for the kids. My message for the runners for 2018: run for fitness or for whatever reason you are, but also run for social impact. Choose a charity you like, and Let's Change will help you to raise more money. This, and many of you remember. So, in Hyderabad, before I left, we started Whiteathon, which is for the retinoblastoma. And now I see Swati and others taking that Whiteathon on a very big height. Similar program I started here after coming in Delhi, that I support this eye cancer cause and do participate and raise money. So it's very important, it adds value to your life and your purpose for your running. What are the challenges? Usual, you will start, stop, you'll find excuses, and many people will discourage. Like many people told me, oh sir, aap 50 ke ho gaye, aapke knees chale gaye, ab rehne do, bude ho gaye, kya karna hai? Then I had plantar fasciitis for many years. I had knee problem, which a orthopedician advised me that I should not use too much, I should not bend, and he said I should probably think of knee replacement. I said, you forget about all these things. Today, I have no issues of plantar fasciitis or knee problems or anything. I used to get glasses, it's a problem. So I tried contact lens for the first time and last time for run, but I hate it. So I never used after that. And in the beginning, when you're not good at running, you try different gadgets. So I tried all kinds of gadgets. So for water bottle around the waist, a phone holder around the arm. Now I just keep simple, very simple, and just run and organize the system much better. What has helped me? Like I said, the mentoring by Prashant Bhatia, and then forming a group called Running Buddies. I started paying attention to my body much better. I get, the cues you get, the signals you get of pain, or, when to stop, when not to stop. Hydration is something which Prashant emphasized with me in the beginning. very important, and I stuck by it. And then I also use salt tablets and other things for longer runs. Keeping the record, very important. I find it very motivating to look at my own report. And I also like to review and analyze those reports periodically. Whether you should get a coaching or training, I'm not sure. I haven't yet. I never got a professional trainer yet. I'm still debating whether I need one. Also, I don't really run in a group. I prefer to run alone because that gives me flexibility in terms of the time and others. But occasionally, if you run in groups, also is very good. I don't recommend that you should run too fast or overdo. Build volume over a period of time and develop a system which works and sustainable for you, depending on your lifestyle. This is what I said about cardio fitness. My current VO2 max is 44. And if you look at all the trend lines in the Apple Health, it gives you very good idea. And I wish that I could do much more analytics, and I'm going to find a way to import this data from, say, Strava to some sort of analytics and get better ideas about it. And that will help me improve my run and my fitness. Another thing which nobody told me, but I just discovered, is 100 days of running. It's about running or walking 100 days, at least 2 kilometers, record it, upload it. And I started in 2019. And I think this is one of the best things, because with this, you become more consistent. And when you see the record on daily basis or weekly basis, and then when you finish, you see, okay, your rank, like in 2019, my rank was 21 in Gurgaon. In 2020, it was 8. In my age group, in the first time in 50 to 59, it was 103. And in 2021, it was 31. My mileage in both these have been more than 10 or 12 every day for 100 days. And obviously, you like all these medals and certificates. It helps you to reinforce your own belief. This was in 2020, I did 2,020 kilometers. So these are the tips for running, which is mostly contributed to my Guruji, Prashant Bhatia. He said, talk about like the focus of cornea specialists is to maintain clarity. The focus of an athlete should be to maintain health and flexibility in the body. Like cornea surgeons, respect your tissues. So we should respect our body tissues also, like our tendons, muscles. And if you are 40 or more, that elasticity decreases over a period of time. So you need to spend more time on stretching and warming up. Bring the meticulousness of cornea care into running as well, with pre-op run, pre-run warm-up, controlled run, and post-run cool-down. So there are lots of these tidbits we get from each other when we participate in a group. Another area is that, while there is a progress in the technology, like you find a lot of gadgets, but I think it's best is to not spend money on branded stuffs like shoes or equipment. Stick to simple basics, have a comfortable shoe and comfortable clothing. And then, like surgery, keep it simple. Don't too much of thinking doesn't help you in running. Running, what helps is running. So just run, listen to your body. If it doesn't feel all right today, come back to fight on another day. And just like ruling out different variety of causes before doing keratoplasty, ensure that we meet a physician or a cardiologist before you start your running or fitness journey and get yourself evaluated. Also remember your limits. Like in LASIK, if there is a limit beyond you can't go, in body also there are limits. And sort out your nutrition. It's very important, very, very important. It will help you in the long run. So what is my current system? I every day get up at 4 a.m. without exception. And I don't leave it to my mind to make decisions. No discretion. Activity every day for 60 to 90 minutes. Good pre-op run, as I said earlier. I have a good physiotherapist, a massage wala, and a sports medicine person if I need to consult them. So my simplified and sorted out nutrition plan, understand my body and mind better. And mind is very important. We don't run with mind, but mind controls. So, sometimes you want to run, it will tell you, oh, you have pain, you may have this, you may have that. So you need to find a good alternative explanation. If we become consistent in one area, we improve in all aspects of life. I strongly believe that, because your clarity improves, your decision making improves. And then if you do these things in the morning, your rest of the day goes very good. And having another hobby, like besides your profession, is excellent way to focus our energies. So I seriously advise those who are staying on the fence to start practicing seriously. So what are my learnings are, it's possible to change your body, your mind, and your ideas. The athletic activities help you better understanding your body. Like now for me, pain and aches is not an illness. It means I need stretching or massage or rest. It's no, I don't need to go to orthopedician. Learn from doing, because everyone is different. Like when I was doing 100 days, Prashant used to tell me, sir, no, bahut zyada hai, aapne itna nahi karna hai. I said, I want to see how my body responds because I'm not feeling anything different. Then after doing it, I realized my calf muscles are very tight, my quadriceps are very tight. So I got into the physiotherapy. And I seriously advise that stay away from allopathic doctors for any running related issues. Don't go to orthopedic surgeon. It's not a good advice they give. Be consistent over a long period of time. Incorporate exercise time in your daily routine. Keep stretching goals and participate in the events. And I suggest my future plans are, I want to run few half marathons, formal one. And before I turn 60, which is in 2 years, I should do 6 major marathons globally, learn cycling and swimming, aim for triathlon in next 3 to 4 years, and improve my flexibility, balance, strength by doing yoga and gymming, and add cross training and improve the nutrition further. And of course, have lots of fun. Thank you very much.
Beautiful, Dr. Sanghwan. I think that is very, very, very inspiring. You've been one of the biggest inspirations in my life. And I think this is another area you managed to inspire me, and I'm sure many, many others like me.
Thank you.
Can I just ask you one question? We've seen the physical transformation in you, obviously, but what are the other changes that this fitness journey and especially this running journey of yours has caused in your life personally and in any other way? How has it changed your life?
Many things. I think my focus has improved. I'm much less irritable. I'm more energetic. My relationship within family and at work and everything has been very good, but it is even better now. So from all over the round point of view, I think it's been a lot of additions.
One more question. How important is it to
Sir, may I ask you a question, please, sir?
Sure. Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
I think Zai's connection is a bit slow.
Okay, so you are asking.
Can I complete my question?
Okay, am I audible? Yeah,
Zai, your internet is a little slow, I think. Maybe you should just...
the routine that you described was simply mind-boggling. The discipline that you have put in. Okay, then maybe I'll correct that and I'll ask him later. You continue with this.
Okay, so I'll ask you my question. How important is it to have a device to monitor your heart rate, like a fitness watch? What is your thought? And
I really don't monitor the heart rate, and I'm maybe gifted. My basal or my resting heart rate is 42 or 43, and so I don't know whether it is by gift of the parents or it is I developed over a period of time. So I don't really look at the heart rate. I just run, and whatever my Apple Watch recorded, I just see that. Rishi, I think your frame is frozen.
There is a question from the audience. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes. Yeah.
Dr. Sanghwan did not mention about his fracture and yet bouncing back. It's so important to deal with injuries in a positive way. It would be nice to hear his take on what motivated him to get back. This is from Piyush Bansal from Pune.
Yeah. I think, yes, injury part I deliberately left out. Yes, I had, while running, I tripped and I had fractured my feet, small bones. And I consulted 2-3 orthopedic surgeons. One said you immediately get the surgery done. The other said air cast, and which I liked the idea. So I did the air cast I use, and whatever 6 weeks of rest. After that, another 6 weeks, and after that I was back walking and then running. And in fact, that year I did 3,500 my annual mileage.
Dr. Sanghwan, if somebody wants to start today who has not run anything, how do you start? Like, you all are runners, right? If a person like me who wants to start today or tomorrow, how do we start? Like, where do we start with?
I think the first thing that you should sort out, if you're not getting up in the morning and you think that you don't have time, that's the first. Start getting up early by 10 or 15 minutes every day. No, every week or 2 weeks you increase, and say if you're getting up at 6, and so your target is to get up at 5, so that you get 1 hour or so in the morning just for yourself. So first figure out and make that as your habit, and don't have too many targets. I'll get up, go out, run, is too much. First, sort out the getting up part. Once that is done, okay, you go for out or for a walk or something. In the beginning, get used to walking, then brisk walking, then intermittent running and walking. And after these two issues are sorted out, I think then it's not a problem. Then you will figure out, and by interacting, understanding yourself, what works for you, what doesn't work. I think I found, because previous times, many years, I just did not figure out the getting up part, and quickly get moved. Oh, I'm too busy. I have to travel. I have to give a talk. I have to do surgeries. So I would, give up, and then keep thinking I'll come back one day. I'll come back one day.
What if you get up in the morning at 5 a.m., you prepare yourself for a walk, and then you think, okay, let me just check my mails. And then you're on the computer and you think,
See, this is, I
so
think,
many deadlines and crises are coming. You think, forget it, now let's finish this first.
Yeah,
This
is the temptation I avoid, that I do not want to see mails or the WhatsApp, and if possible, don't see the phone. I'm still not very good at it, but I've reached maybe 50-60% of my target, that I try not to see the phone. If I see, I quickly move away and get into my morning routine.
And then you pat your back also. Okay, you got up at 5 a.m., you finished so many things which you wouldn't have been able to do, at the cost, of course, of whatever you thought was a physical exercise or walking or whatever.
Yeah,
and you fall into that same trap.
I think that's a serious trade-off when you check mails instead of going for a walk or something.
I know, but then
Zai, one question to you. Zai, one question to you. You had trained with professional marathon runners, right? I mean, ultra marathon runners or something.
Ironman. Yeah.
Ironman runner. So you know the structured thing which they told. So how did you start? How did he started your this thing that? So walking, how many days walking? So how do you start with tomorrow? Like what Dr. Sanghwan said, that is there a structured way to start something?
Okay, actually, sir had mentioned it, that just keep it simple, just start running. And once you develop a liking for it, then you can seek professional help. But it's not something that you actually need. There are plenty of programs available on the net. But a professional coach maybe will tell you when you develop injuries or when you're overexerting yourself, or sometimes when you hit the wall. There are days when you just you don't feel like exercising. There are group runs which will help you motivate. Your friend got up, so might as well go and do the run. And the endorphins that are released post-run, I think they are the best. They make the effort worthwhile. But actually, that's what I was meaning to ask Sanghwan sir. His discipline is amazing, but there are days when you just don't feel like doing anything. You feel that you really burned out yourself. So how do you tackle yours? How do you manage on those days?
Fortunately, Jai, such days are not very often with me. And I've tested myself in last few months, meaning that if say I come home late from a social event, say at 12 midnight, so and then I say, oh, tomorrow morning it will be difficult, I may not go for a run or walk. But even if I don't put alarm, I will get up at 4. And then I say, why do keep lying? If you got up, why not to go out? And then when I start walking, if you're walking, why not to run? So I just basically end up doing the same routine, and I feel so good about it. So, and also it is, cutting off yourself from social temptations. And once you get up early, you will automatically sleep early. Sometimes some people find that may be difficult to manage.
That's right.
Himanshu, can I add one thing to your question? I used to struggle a lot with running all my life. If I used to run even 100 meters, I used to get severe palpitations actually. And I used to think I have some cardiac problem. I investigated myself. Then one of my friends who was regularly into running told me that basically you're running too fast. Every time I used to run, I used to sprint. And because my heart rate used to be very high, that used to cause a problem. So all you have to do is start slow. I think that is a very important thing.
बट ऋषि ये बड़ा डिफिकल्ट है समझ में आना, क्योंकि
Yeah.
मैं भी जब बिगनिंग में स्टार्ट किया ना तो मुझे लगता था कि दौड़ना मीन्स दौड़ना है, दौड़ना मेरी
Exactly.
डेफिनेशन स्प्रिंट है.
If you just run slowly in the beginning and let your body adjust to that, then you can last longer run. I think that's an important thing which nobody tells you.
True.
Thank you. Nice.
That's true.
Okay, I'll ask a beginner's question once again. You start, okay, and you run for one day, or you do gymming or whatever. Next day, every single cell of your body aches. Then what do you do?
नहीं,
And then you say, okay, let me rest today. Tomorrow I'll go.
नहीं,
So,
see, this is the things to understand. See, if you are going to exercise, you have to understand body will pain, and that is the sweet pain that you want to have. So if you are avoiding that pain, then you will not run tomorrow. I have never taken off, even the day I done 30 kilometers or 20 kilometers or 15, I never take off. I go back to the hospital, do my routine. I never, so the point is the fact that you want to get used to that pain, that's the only way that you can grow. And if you say, oh, I ran too much, I'm having sore pain here, knee pain, then obviously next day you will not get up.
The second day you think it's paining a lot less, but it's still paining. So now I'll go on the third day. So it's kind of just postponing that event.
No, that means internally you have not imbibed that you are seriously. You are basically you have not decided. You are just doing under peer pressure. कि भाई सब बोल रहे हैं कर लो थोड़ा बहुत.
कर लो.
It also means that you're overdone on the first day. So that's where what Rishi said, that go slow, go start. So if you suddenly come and say, no, I'm going to run 10K tomorrow, and your body is not conditioned for it, then it's not going to work.
Yes.
For somebody to start doing that, I always advise that don't straight away, don't get inspired and say, Dr. Sanghwan ne bola hai, to kal se main 5 kilometer. So वैसा नहीं है. Even when I started running, like what Rishi said, that it was difficult to go beyond 500 meters. You feel that you have run out of steam. Then we started doing walk, run, walk, Then you started running slow. Some of the watches that you wear have that capability where you can set your heart rate at 130, 140. And then if you run with a pace which keeps your heart rate below a certain level, you don't get palpitation. You're able to talk to the next person you're running with. Otherwise you're breathing so much that sometimes if somebody asks you a question, you will not be able to say anything. That means you're overexerting yourself. So take it slow.
I think we had a fabulous start to this fitness session. We've covered some aspects of running, and in the interest of time, we move on to the next stalwart and another of my gurus and my inspirations, Dr. Rajesh Fogla. He does everything excellently. There's so many talents. He has a multifaceted personality, and I think one thing he's doing really well, other than BMEC, is cycling, and we'll let him talk about his journey of cycling.
Yeah, I don't have a formal presentation like what Dr. Sanghwan made, but most of the points what he covered in his presentation, the same applies to whether you do cycling, swimming. It's the same thing that the basic principles are, that you start slow. And for me, my journey of cycling started after running. I started doing half marathons first, and then I felt that running is good, but then cycling, I wanted to add it as an additional sport, which will improve on my endurance and also improve on running. And in fact, a lot of people who run also do other activities like cycling or swimming, and which kind of, acts on the other muscle groups and makes it better. So in terms of cycling, yes, you don't need any expensive, there is no end to what you can buy. A proper cycle can cost anywhere between few lakhs going up to 10 to 15 lakhs as well, depending on what make and what kind of features you want in that. But getting a basic cycle is also good. Average cost may be around between 30 to 50,000. You can pick up one. You have cycles which you do on paved roads. Those are called road bikes. And you have the hybrid ones which have wider tires, with which you can go on both paved and unpaved roads. The road bikes go a little faster, and so it depends on what kind of activity you want to do, how you want to ride. And always start a little slow, just like you get your clothes, you go and give measurements, and then you find a good fitting shirt or a trouser. Similarly, for bikes also, you can't just go and pick up a bike. There are a few things which you need to sort out before you start cycling. So it's called a bike fit. That depends on your height, your shoulder reach, your arm length. So that these are bicycle specialists who do that for you, especially if you're going to ride for a few hours on your bike, especially long distance. Then what happens is, if you don't have the right fit of your bike, you can end up with shoulder pain, backache. Your posture is not going to be correct. So your core has to be really strong. So these are things that have to be done. Otherwise, the chance of you injuring yourself will be much more. So a lot of times when I go in the morning and I see a lot of these people who just like they pick up a cycle and they're cycling where the seat height is too low, you can make out that that's not the appropriate thing what they're doing. So just like for running, you get proper shoes and you look at how your foot landing, and you try and time that. Even for cycling, that is there is something called cadence, with which you which again improves on your the ability to build up your endurance. Otherwise, you can get up with leg cramps. By the time you hit 20-30 kilometers, you feel that you're not able to do the cycling, especially when you come on. So I used to hate doing climbs. Whenever I would see the road going up on my cycle, I used to say, oh my God, there's another one that's come up. And usually we used to ride on the Shankarpalli road, which is not a flat road, and it's kind of a it's rolling. It's kind of goes up, goes down. So the downhill used to be very good because they'll go really fast. But the moment you see an uphill, you say, my God, you have to really strain yourself. But over a period of time, as you keep training, you find that gets better. So any specific questions, Himanshu? Again, I can answer that.
So Rajesh, one thing you said, there are cycle expert or something. So are you talking about Decathlon and those kind of places can have it, or?
Yes, most places where they sell the cycle, they will have a person who will look at your body dimensions and try to adjust the bike for you. Like the place where I got my bike from, the people, they are avid cyclists and they do that. They actually charge you about 5,000 rupees just to do a bike fit. It's like a consultation. It takes about half an hour, 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So they have the bicycle, which is put on a stand. So you have to go and get into that stand on a cycling gear, and you have to cycle for some time. And then they observe you when you are cycling, and they want to know what would be the actual height of the seat will be, whether the handlebar has to be moved closer or a little far away. So that is not something that can be picked up just stationary, that you just stand with the bike and you can say. There are some parameters looking at your length of your legs and the reach of the pedals. You can say this is what the size would be. But the other fittings in terms of adjusting the seat height and the handlebar and all those things, that requires you to observe you for some time while you're cycling, and then they can do a proper bike fit for you.
So Rajesh, which bike you have and where did you get it from? So just for a reference.
Oh, originally, when I didn't have an idea about it, I just went and picked up a regular hybrid bike, which is a Scott Sportstar, which at that point of time, it cost 35,000. I thought it was too expensive because childhood, we used to have only the Hero cycle, and
I know.
So no gears, nothing, just take your bike and go away. But this one, then it has all those gears in the front and behind. So which kind of, originally I didn't know what combination of gears to use. I used to just put them on some gear and I used to cycle. But then you realize that there are certain combination of gears that you use, which help you improve your performance in the long run. So I picked up then a professional bike. I got up. That's also a funny story. I got to this bike store and I knew only few names of bikes. I knew Trek and I knew Scott. So I went to this guy. His name is Gokul. He's an avid cyclist. And so I went to his store and I said, I know, so I'm planning to buy a road bike. He said, yeah, we have a specialized bike coming. I said, oh, specialized bike. Which brand? He says, no, the brand itself is specialized.
Okay.
I thought he was trying to tell me that we have a customized, some specialized bike coming.
Yeah.
So then I went and looked up and I realized that there is a bike company called Specialized that makes, and there are a lot of companies like Cannondale. So I think just like we do a lot of these things, you leave it to the experts. There are a lot of companies that make these bikes. They come in aluminum, they come in
Carbon.
alloys, they come in carbon.
Carbon.
The metal ones, the aluminum, those are a little heavier, but the carbon ones are extremely light. So what happens is the lighter your bike, the better the performance. But again, the more lighter a bike, the more expensive it becomes. So that you realize as you go on to the sport, because then you require, if you realize that all these bikes have seats which are very small. They are again aerodynamically designed. So you need padded shorts to wear. Then you need the bicycle jersey, which is again little skin fitting because you want to be aerodynamic. You don't want that to create resistance. Then you need to know what to carry behind you, the gels that you need to take. You need to hydrate yourself very well. So you need to carry at least 2 bottles, at least about 1.5 liters of fluid with you. You need to carry your puncture kit. You need to know how to repair a puncture. That's also very important. So that's a few things that you need to know. So these are bike maintenance. This again, the bike affair, these guys, they conduct classes which you go and attend. So you know how to take out the wheel, how do you repair a puncture, replace the tube. So because when you go out on a cycling, you can, at that point in time, you may not find a puncture repair shop or somewhere when you're in the villages or somewhere that you go in. So all these things you have to do it yourself. That's why I find it very useful to go in a group. Because if you go solo and you end up with, bike puncture or something, to sit on the roadside and try to do that. But if you are riding in a group, then what happens is you have somebody else who immediately helps you out and things are faster,
Can I ask you a question, Dr. Fogla?
Yeah.
With bicycling, one of the fears is safety, because road traffic accidents and then even stray dogs are known to attack cyclists. Have you had any near brushes, and what is your advice to be safe while doing cycling?
Oh, you need. So it's not safe to cycle without wearing a helmet. You have to get a proper helmet. You need to have your the rear light that blinks continuously even during the daytime. You need to put a front light as well, especially if you start early in the morning. Your jerseys and this thing that you wear, all of them have reflectors in it. So, even if a vehicle is coming from far away, the jersey should be, highlighted. Your shoes also have reflectors built into them. So it kind of gives you an idea that there is a cyclist. And also when you plan your route, don't plan routes through very busy traffic. It's not safe the way the people drive in India. And for me, I have stopped actually riding solo. I always go in a group and always be careful. Don't try to ride 3 or 4 people riding side by side. Rather, we ride in a single lane, because if you're occupying more amount of road space, then there is a possibility that you can get hit. Also, don't put music, don't listen to with your headphones on, because then you may miss out some vehicle that's coming behind. So always be mindful of what's happening on the road. Dogs, yes, that's true for running, cycling, any activity, even if you're running. So when you see these dogs, don't try to speed away. Sometimes if you just slow down, then they don't feel, insecure. Otherwise, if you try to speed, then they try to come after you. But if you see dogs on the road and you just slow down your pace and just pass by, then they are not, they don't feel threatened and you're okay.
So do you also carry a phone with you when you run, when you cycle?
Yes.
With the live location on, I guess.
I carry a phone and my wife live location, and she's tracking me where I am.
It's very important in case of an accident, because
I
have been through that, and
we have we have an armband as well, which you get from BizBiker, and even on Amazon you will get it. That armband is like a small wristband that you wear, which even for running people should keep it, which has your name, your blood group. It has your contact number of 2 or 3 people. If you are in a group that conducts these activities, that number is also written, so that if something happens, at least they're able to look at the wristband and they're able to immediately contact the people that's required.
That's true.
Rajesh, you've done both running and cycling. What would you choose if you have to choose only one?
No, I can't choose one. I enjoy both. Jai will know that we were in Mumbai and we enjoyed a morning run.
Yeah.
For me, I get bored very easily. So if I keep doing one activity, I won't be able to run like Virender every day. He you know how he does it. He's a machine. He's not a man. You know. He can get up every day and run 10 kilometers. I would get bored if I had to run 10 kilometers.
Yeah.
I would do a run, and next day maybe I would go and play tennis, or maybe I will go cycling. I usually do on weekends because the group of people with whom I cycle, they are free on weekends. Although during lockdown we used to go during the weekdays as well. But like I said, for me, if I go cycling, I get up at 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Then you need to freshen up. You need to get your gear. You need to check your gear. You need to pack your the hydration fluid, check your bicycle, and then by 4:35 we leave because we want to catch the good weather and the like the empty roads in the morning. So my wife would always say, why can't you sleep? Why you are getting up at 3:30 in the morning? But like he said, once you get into the groove, the resistance is only till you get out of the house. But once you go out in the house and then you suddenly start feeling so good, then you enjoy it. Same thing with running. The resistance is only getting out of the bed and getting out of the house. Once you go out of the house and you're on the road, you will be like thrilled that you did that. So I think that initial blockage is the bed looks very comfortable. You get up in like it has happened to me sometimes. I say I will go cycling tomorrow. Then morning I put the alarm, I get up. Once there is something like that, should I go or just tell them I'm not coming? I can sleep for some more time. No, but if you get out of the urge, you just get ready and go out. Then you will say the best thing I did, I came out. Because that's sheer adrenaline, and you really feel very good.
Dr. Fogla, you are doing both running and cycling together, duathlons.
Yes, I've done that. I've done that, cycling, running. Swimming, I have not been doing, but I want to improve on. I'm here right now in Kuwait. So yesterday, because it was Friday holiday, with the other doctor, I went to the club, and they had a nice Olympic-sized pool. And I've always, the swimming I've done in pool where my feet touches the bottom, at least 6 feet are not deeper than that. This was more than 8 feet throughout. So yesterday, for the first time, I got into the pool. I got over my fear of, not being able to touch the bottom. And I enjoyed doing 4 or 5 laps in the Olympic-sized pool. It was really good fun. We went into the sea as well. So these are things that I think you need to experience in life. Even tennis, we got in our society, we got the lights fitted at night. So night 8:30 to 9:30, we just go and hit balls, and it's really good. It's a good form of exercise. So for me, I like variations. But cycling is very good. I have just to show you some photographs. Let me share a screen with you. Let's see if I can do that. So this is basically just to motivate you, that cycling is good. Yeah, you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I love cycling. I got my bike in 2019, and just one second. I think my laptop power is going to go. So let me just try and connect this to that.
So while Rajesh is putting the plug, I tell you the boring thing, if you can get used to do a boring routine of daily activities, then you can be very consistent.
True.
I want to ask one question, and again, it's a layman kind of a question. People say when you do cycling, a stationary cycle is better than a moving cycle. So what would you say to that?
Let me show you my
smiling and laughing, but
this is some of the photographs from my
wow,
cycle.
so nice.
It was group we did in Kerala.
Wow.
You can see Preeti also there, Harshul there also come. So we did a 1-week tour where we went to Coimbatore, and from there we ended up in Cochin. Went through Munnar, climbing all the hills and everything. So this is how we get up in the morning.
So cycles you took your own or you rented?
Yeah. No. We took our own. So for my cycle, I have a bike bag where I can dismantle my cycle, the wheels and all, and it fits in just like a suitcase. You can fit it into that. So all of us, we carry So this was during the Kerala trip. This is when we did the climb. So this is a border where Tamil Nadu and Kerala. This is finally we ended up at the beach. You can see. So it's good fun. So all these people are not ophthalmologists. They are all in different specialties. Somebody is a physician, some are businessmen, and from varied age group, from the 20s to going all the way up to 60s. So it's good fun. You get to meet different people, see different local, and the nature you see totally different. Even in Hyderabad, I've cycled to so many places where when I post photograph, people ask, where is it? I said, no, you have to go through you cycle 15, 20 kilometers out of the city and you reach the villages, and the smaller roads in the villages you go through, you will be amazed at the kind of, locales you have within the city itself. So I started off, then there was something called the Breve, which is people used to do 100 kilometers at one stretch. So I got, and I said, okay. So I did that. It took me about 4 hours, 4 minutes. And the next was the 200 kilometers going all the way almost up to Karimnagar. So we did that as well. Took about 9 hours, but 9 hours on that cycle, it was quite a different kind of experience. So these are self-supported rides. So they don't give you any support during the way. So if your cycle breaks down, anything happens, you have to repair it yourself. So you have to carry a lot of things with you, and you take few riders along with you so that you help each other in case anybody gets into a problem. So this is again from the same Kerala trip. Like that, I've done trips to Vietnam, to Goa. So the next upcoming
Cherrapunji also.
Cherrapunji is coming up in October. Yes. So we'll be going for a 1-week trip to Cherrapunji, which will involve a lot of climbs. So that is from, I think, 10 to 16th of October, which I'm looking forward. So look at these locales, this should inspire you to take up cycling, and, you can explore. Running is also good, but cycling can take you a lot of places where running may not be able to. Although Gyan goes on trail runs to a lot of exotic locales, but this is cycling is good fun for me. Any specific questions, I will be happy to.
I think there is a question in the chat box. Dr. Fogla, did you take your own cycle to Goa? I think you've answered that.
Correct. But when we went to Vietnam, we didn't carry our cycle because there's a cyclist there who has his own cycling kind of tour company, and they have a lot of good cycles. So we went and rented the cycle from there, and we went on the rides.
And did you take a hybrid cycle or a road bike there?
No, there it was more like, because we had to do hill climbing, so we took hybrid. But the problem was it was not a custom fitted bike. So everybody had to make do with whatever bikes he provided. And, so if you're going to do long rides, nothing like taking your own bike. You feel much more comfortable.
Another question from Piyush.
How do you take such long leaves from work?
I also wanted to ask you that. You take 10 days off.
That's why you find all these activities people start once they have, they are in their 40s and 50s,
He has a very good support system.
That's true. Thanks to my wife. I think I have to tell her that I take off, because when I'm not there, she's able to manage the clinic, see the patient. So because of that only, I've been able to go on these trips and manage. So definitely you need but I think you should not keep postponing it in your life. You should have something that, for me, running, cycling, anything that I do, I have me time. That means that is the time which nobody else can take from me. And at that point of time, it gives me the kind of pleasure you derive. It's something that you will never get it. So it's important that a few hours in a day, you have to have the time to yourself. What you do with it, whether you go for a walk. If I'm not doing anything, at least I'll go for a 1 hour walk. So I make it a point, like if I have not been able to run, not been able to play tennis or anything, at least doesn't matter what time of night, I'll at least go and do 1 hour walking.
I think we'll move on to the third speaker in the interest of time. Any other questions from the side? Thank you, Dr. Fogla.
Okay, thanks.
Zai, maybe you can invite the last speaker.
So now we come to the youngster of the group, Dr. Amrita. We are very keen to know how you started your yoga journey and what it gives you. Over to you, Dr. Amrita.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me here. I'll just share my screen. Is it visible?
No, it has not come.
We're not able to see you, Amrita, or your presentation.
Yeah, just give me a moment, please.
There's a question for Dr. Fogla. Do you do your endurance training and stamina building on the road and with the sports you play, or some part at a gym? Just trying to understand if it's possible to get there without going to a gym.
You do have to do strength training, because to improve endurance, you need to have. So whether if you're doing cycling is good, but then at least you have to exercise your legs as well. And you have to actually you have to work quite a lot on the core, because that's what keeps your back, is to support your body when you're on the cycle. Otherwise, you are using your hands and everything to support yourself. And if that happens, you end up with shoulder pain and all those kind of things. So strength training is an essential part, whether you're running, cycling, or, doing any kind of activity, you do have to do some amount of strength training.
All right, Amrita is back.
Is the slide visible?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So good evening, everyone. I am Amrita Ajani, and I'm based in Mumbai. And I'm an associate professor at a government institute. And I would like to share with you via this short talk about my journey with yoga. It's not a talk which deals with the jargon and the technical part about yoga, as in not a training session or something, though we do have a mini hands-on at the end. But I'd like to just share how I got into it and how you can also imbibe that in your lives. Okay, so we all had our lives involved into COVID in 2020, and it was a very sad situation for all of us, very stressful. And me being from a government institution background, even more so for me. So I was just wondering about what to do, very worried about whether I'll take the infection home, and about everybody was stressed about the immunity, and a lot of overnight immunity popping pills were available, which obviously all of us know do not work. So I randomly came across this WhatsApp message that there is this happiness workshop, which is being conducted for COVID warriors by the Art of Living, no financial interest. And I said, why not try it? Maybe it can just help. So I enrolled for it, and it was a 3-day workshop, which was either early morning or in the evening. And they were conducted online on Zoom classes. And I did that, and they taught us a lot of yoga asanas, pranayams, and meditation, and everything was fine. And after about a month or so, I actually started feeling the difference. My stamina had increased. I had become less irritable, less reactive to situations. My mood was perpetually better. And so I decided to do the advanced course, which was part 2, which was again a 3-day course. But this time they asked us to observe silence. That is an actual Maun Vrat over 2 days. And most importantly, and very difficult, an e-fast. That is, you put away all your devices and you totally get into the yoga and the meditation part of it. This they say that as in the ancient days when the yogis did not obviously have mobile phones, and they went more deeper into meditation and they could focus better. So these things were done with that purpose. And again, we were taught Padma Sadhana and many other type of kriyas along with pranayams. One word about pranayam, sorry. So I started doing my yoga and all the pranayams. What I wanted to share about pranayams is that it is a regulation of your inhalation and exhalation. Now, one would think, what is so important about breathing, So what they taught us there was that it teaches you to live in the moment. Now, what do we mean by that? So basically, it is believed that stress is because we're always anxious about our future. Kal kya hoga, aage kya hoga? Or we are sulking about our past, that this happened in my past, this happened, that happened. We have regrets about our past, about mistakes we may have made and all of that. But what is the most sane time to be in is the present moment. And the best thing to be in the present moment is the breath. Because your breath can't be in your past, neither can your breath be in your future. Your breath is right here, right now, and you're breathing it. It is in the present tense. So that is how, if you focus on your breath, on your inhalation and your exhalation, you can live in the moment. And that in turn can reduce your stress levels significantly. But the Dr. Kera in us will always tell us, where is the evidence? So I looked up online, and there was so much published literature on yoga and meditation and its benefits on the physical aspect of health as well as the mental. In the mental health part, it was working as antidepressant and anti-anxiety along with medications or without medications in milder cases. It improved lung function tests. It improved cardiovascular parameters. And in one of our biochemistry books, I found a reference which states that it improves antioxidant status. Now, as doctors, we all know free radical injury and its contribution in the pathophysiology of so many diseases. So having something improving our antioxidant status is definitely a health boon. But how do you think this possibly happens because of yoga or meditation? It is actually the parasympathetic nervous system which is stimulated. So opposite to the fight-flight response, this is a more relaxed response where everything slows down, your heart rate, your digestion, your respiration. So it basically gets you into the rest and relaxed state. It stimulates the vagus nerve, as we all know, in the parasympathetic system and allows for self-regulation, slows down everything. And this is linked with emotions of love, joy, and compassion. I will come to who is Deepak Chopra a little later. So now, all in all, yoga has a lot of benefits. It decreases your stress, it boosts your immune system, improves your mood, your energy, your posture, your flexibility. It helps you sleep better, your lung functions improve, your heart functions improve, your metabolism boosted, and whatnot. And very importantly, it also acts as an anti-aging technique. So now the question that arises is, what should I do? How should I do? And how do I start? Do I also go and join some classes, or what do I do? So to start with, you only need 10 minutes of your time. I would say if you're just starting, you need 10 minutes of me time, and that's not asking for much. You ideally should do things early in the morning, obviously, because your cortisol is the highest level. Our parents used to tell us to study early in the morning. So yoga is also preferably in the morning. But if it is not possible, it can also be done in the evening, provided you have a calm and silent atmosphere around you. Your environment should support your yoga and meditation. And for that, you can just lock yourself in a room. You just need some time. You need to put away your gadgets for some time because your total focus should be on yoga and meditation because it's something to do with the mind. So you need your total focus on that with no devices to disturb you. A yoga mat is also not compulsory. You can just use a folded bed sheet. No fancy equipment whatsoever is required to start. You can start with deep breathing, just 10 minutes. You need to lie down or just sit up straight or resting against some support. You have to just inhale deeply, pause for a count of 2, and exhale completely. This is just your starting step. Once you start doing that and you get the hang of things, of spending time with yourself, something which everybody can't do so easily, you can move on to other meditation techniques. Like you have a lot of guided meditation techniques freely available on YouTube and on the Play Store. Some apps like Headspace, etc. do well. But my personal recommendation would be with any of these authentic ones like Yoga Nidra meditation. I would say you can substitute this for your power nap. If you are in the habit of having just a 10-15 minute break between your morning clinic and your evening clinic, where you can just sit down, put your head down, or just lie down and switch this on your mobile next to you, shut your eyes and listen to it. It really makes you really calm, and you will definitely notice a difference in your work also following that. There are other meditations by Deepak Chopra available on Facebook, and also there is Sadhguru's Isha Yoga, which has many guided meditations, which are very freely available online. And if you want to go one step further into all the yoga asanas as well as the meditation, there are many online courses as well as offline classes conducted by these institutes, which are very authentic. You may have some local classes as well, but I would recommend going through these courses because they have a lot of life lessons, they have trained instructors who deal with the yoga and the meditation part of it. And of course, I have no financial interest in all of these associations. So what are the problems that you may face initially, which are also the problems that I face? I'm quite sure others must have also faced. If you're doing it at the end of the day when you're tired, or if you're doing it early in the morning, either ways, you may just be sleepy. That's fine. You may just be a fidgety personality and you may not be able to sit quietly in one place and do the yoga, the meditation. That's also fine. You may just have aches and pains while you sit erect or you're trying to do some yoga asanas. You may just have some initial teething pains, but as Sanghwan sir rightly pointed, it is sweet pain. So that's also fine. And worst of all, you may just daydream. You may dream kal kya karna hai, you may dream din mein kya karna hai, you may dream kal kya kiya tha, and any of that. You may just start planning your day because you've just got some time with yourself. That's very natural. But what we were taught is that don't be judgmental about yourself. Never tell negative things to yourself, ki mujhse nahi hoga, and I get distracted. I am not the kind of person who can get into yoga and meditation. All you need to do is let the thought come. Do not dwell on the thought and let it pass by. Just give it some time. If you continuously keep practicing this, there will come a time when you will be able to get over this, and like me and many other people, be able to practice good yoga and good meditation and reap the benefits of it. So the best time to work on your health is while you still have it. You may have a lovely practice, you may be earning very much, you may be rich, successful, famous, but at the end of the day, the real wealth that you have is your health. And that health is both physical and mental. And yoga is one such entity which will help you with both of them. All you need is 21 days. It is said that to make a habit, either to make a good one or a bad one, or to make or break, it requires 21 days because there are certain neural connections that develop. When you do it repeatedly for 21 days, some neural connections develop and you can make it a habit and proceed with it. So do try it for 21 days. Now some mini hands-on, if everybody is okay with it. Two of my favorite pranayams that we could probably do along. If you want, everybody can switch on your videos as well. Okay, so the first one is Nadi Shodhan, that is alternate nostril breathing, where you need to use your index finger. I request everyone to do it. Please join me. Your index finger and your middle finger between your two brows, your thumb over your right nostril, and your ring finger over your left nostril. Now we'll ask you to alternately breathe from one nostril while you close the other. So you always customarily start from the left nostril. So close your right nostril, breathe in a deep breath from the left nostril inside. Stop for a count of 2. Close the left nostril, open the right one, breathe out from the right. Stop for a count of 2. Breathe in from the same nostril, that is the right side. Close the right one and out from the left. This is one complete cycle of Nadi Shodhan or alternate nostril breathing. It helps reducing stress, improving your respiration and heart rate. And you can do this for 10 to 15 times every day, preferably early in the morning or in the evening. And next is Brahmari or bee humming, which is my personal favorite. And why, I'll tell you, because it gives you really deep, calm, relaxing sleep. And this is to be done at night 10 to 15 times a day. So you need your 2 hands, spread out your fingers, Start with the lower part, your little finger below your lower lip, your ring finger above your upper lip, your middle finger next to your nostrils, and your index finger right next to your eyebrows. Most importantly, the thumb is supposed to cover the tragus, which you need to press on so that your ears are shut. For now, you can keep them open so that you can listen to me. So now what you need to do is take a deep breath in. Close your tragus and make this humming sound while exhaling like so. Okay. And while exhaling, you need to curl up your tip of your tongue towards your hard palate. I'm sorry if it's sounding a little difficult, but it's very easy once you get the hang of it. Tip of the tongue towards the hard palate while exhaling. So while exhaling, you're making the humming sound, you have your tip against the hard palate, and you're pressing against your tragus. 3 things. So we'll try it again. Close your tragus, deep inhalation, make that sound. After that, the silence, the calm that follows is beautiful. Believe me on that. Do try it tonight. It's really, really, really relaxing. It is said that there are hollow spaces in the skull. So these vibrations and this resonance will stimulate the pituitary gland, which in turn will secrete melatonin, which will help you sleep better. So that's the science behind it. So do try it tonight. Lastly, I would like to conclude by saying you certainly cannot get rid of stress, but you can definitely gain a new perspective on stressful situations. And yoga and meditation is definitely one of the ways to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Amrita. That is very nice. And I think our forefathers have known the value of yoga for many, many centuries.
Absolutely.
And only now when the West has endorsed it, we are giving it the due importance that it deserves.
True.
So how has yoga transformed your life?
Yes. So yoga has really decreased my irritability levels. My anger threshold has changed significantly. My stamina has increased significantly. My body tone, my posture, my flexibility has really, really improved after that. And I also believe my lung function tests have improved. So that is quite something.
So all you fitness enthusiasts, so when you say stretching versus strength building, are they both like part of the same routine, or you, as I understand, yoga would be stretching, right? Yes. So along with that, strength building is also equally important part, or how does it
has both stretching and strength? You have holding postures, which will give you strength also.
Absolutely right.
Exercise, you have to do stretching. Whether it's cycling, running, yoga, stretching is a part of it. Yoga has a little more stretching, that's all. That's my understanding.
So yoga is also part of strength building, is it?
Yes, there are many. So there are many advanced forms of yoga as well. So I have done just 2 levels and I'm really waiting to do the 3rd one as well. So yes, it has both forms.
And any sport you play, strength training is most important. If you want to keep injuries away, definitely you run for 3 days a week, but make sure that you also do strength training for 3 days a week.
Correct.
And like Fogla sir said, cross training always helps. So if you're a cyclist, a little bit of run helps, or a little bit of swimming helps.
And in fact, yoga will help with both cycling and running as well, I think.
Yeah. And also the meditation part, do not forget the mental health as well.
Yeah, yoga is very good because it helps opens up your joint. The more flexible you are, the better the activity you can perform. Because the kind of lifestyle we lead, we are sedentary, we're always sitting on the chair, so we don't really stretch. How many of us can really squat and be comfortable with it sitting like that? You try doing that at home and within few minutes you'll have to just get up because your joints. But if you start doing yoga, you can assume that posture, or you sit on the ground, with your legs folded, A lot of us cannot do that. We find it difficult. But if you start doing yoga, you will realize that will open up your hip joint and you can do that. So it's important. I think flexibility is good. For me, I always believe that have realistic goals. Don't suddenly get inspired by today's talks and say from tomorrow I'm going to do it, but then do it for few days and then you say that's it, to hell with it. I read my emails or read my WhatsApp, and that's. But gradually,
we still want to get inspired by today's talk. So Rajesh, we will not go over the board, as you said.
I see that when we go for 10K run, 5K run, or a marathon, a lot of people in the crowd who have never run, who just register and they come, and then they start off so enthusiastically, and by the first kilometer you see them huffing, puffing. After that they are walking.
Yeah. Sure.
So I think it's important, take up one activity, set your mind, do some. But again, like I said, Dr. Sanghwan runs every day, but most runners will agree that there is always a recovery period after any activity that you do. Even your Garmin watch will tell you, if you run and all, it says this much is the recovery required for your muscles to go back to. So that's where when you do multiple activities, you have different set of muscles that act. So that's how your body can remain. And swimming is very good for people who have issues with joints and other things, because your body weight is not a thing. So I think out of all the exercises, if I have to rate the number one exercise, it would be swimming, which is very good. Your breathing gets better. Your muscles, you're not, especially if you're older, then you're not hurting your joints, and it's a fun activity to do.
I think I agree with Dr. Fogla. You have to mix it up actually, and if you do that, then because any exercise, you're actually tearing your muscle fibers, and they need time to recover. If you keep mixing the muscle groups, then you're actually okay.
Running twice a week is good enough, I believe.
Yeah.
Rest of the day
you don't need to do the same kind of running thrice a week. You can mix it up as well. Correct. You can do it. Like I love running with Jan. He remembers, in Guwahati when we were running, we went up the hill and we did that. But he knew my pace and he was purposely running slow with me. Rishi will remember we did 2018 before the Airtel Marathon. There was a practice run a month before. We know how we huffed and puffed and reached the Gachibowli Stadium. And Rishi had a lot of cramps at the end as well.
Very bad cramps.
These are good experiences, and always try to initiate them in groups. If you try and go and do them all by yourself, you get bored very quickly. But if you have a group of people and in that group you go, it's kind of motivating, So for me, running, when I started, I joined a group called Hyderabad Runners, and they always have these weekly runs, and they keep sending you mailers or they keep sending you messages. So it's nice to get up in the morning, go and park your car somewhere where they're going to start running, and you have a group of 20, 30 people running. So what happens is, along with them, you join the group, and otherwise if you run by yourself, you will not complete the distance. Maybe you'll run 3 kilometers and say enough for the day and let's go home. But if you're running with them, you will definitely go and finish whatever distance they are doing. Same thing with the cycling. Or if you do, it's always fun when you do it in a group. And nowadays it's very easy to find group. You go check on Facebook or you check on this thing, you will find some group of people who are engaged in that activity. Just go and join that group. It's good fun.
So one question to you all runners. So how bad is it to run on a treadmill, or indoor running is not as bad as we think compared to? So can you just burst that myth?
No, people do training on treadmill running. Treadmill running is good in the sense that in between
is
when
it bad to your knees or something like that? Bad? No.
So
I don't think
maybe
so.
Gyan can tell.
No, I don't think so. But then treadmill running is boring to me.
Boring.
Yeah, it's
so. If I'm not saying that only treadmill running, but if you have for the strength building, if you are doing treadmill running, is it okay for your knees or something? It's not. But because some people say that it's not good for the knees. Is that right?
As long as you wear proper cushioned shoes, you can run on a treadmill. But if you run shoes which have very minimal sole or this thing, then maybe you might be injuring. Treadmill is good when you want to increase your pace. Like you can set certain parameters. You can say, I want to run at a pace of 5 kilometers or 7 kilometers per hour. Then you can do that, and you can then improve on your performance. That's like for people who want to set up personal bests. They sometimes do that kind of training. You can set up interval trainings on treadmill. But like Jan said, it's very boring for me. I simply hate it. Nothing like that, going out and enjoying nature and running.
That's true.
I think treadmill is fine for short runs, Himanshu, but if you want to do long distance training, then
Correct.
outdoor is
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
How about one last thing? How about HITT or what, like, is it good, bad, or like, how does it?
I think Dr. Jai can speak on that. She does a lot of HITT.
So it's HITT is high interval endurance training, interval training, high intensity interval training.
HIIT. Okay.
HIIT, double IT.
Okay.
So you can incorporate HIIT training provided you are doing regular training sessions once a week, but it should not be done repeatedly, not more than once a week.
Oh, really?
Because it is going to involve a lot. It is intense form of training. So that can be in the form of strength training. It can be in form of cycling. It can be even in form of running or even swimming. So if you are putting short bursts of energy, just like you're doing interval training, interval runs, that speed workout, that's interval training. So you can't be expected to be running every day as Rishi said, every day at a sprint pace. That will wear you out and your joints and your muscles will not keep up. So it is just to give you that boost, which will help you cause some wear and tear, and that wear and tear will help you repair and gain muscle more, and that will help you in your endurance. So once a week, once in 10 days, that's a good idea to do a HIIT training.
We have a couple of questions. What has been the experience of anyone going back to running after COVID? It's harder and more tiring. Sai, do you want to take that? Who's had COVID?
Yeah, I had COVID in January, but fortunately, I think I didn't get Delta. I got Omicron, and that's a nicer variant. So I wasn't that incapacitated. Maybe 8-10 days I was out of action. After that, started very slowly, just heart rate runs for half an hour, 3 days a week. And then after 3 or 4 weeks, then the regular schedule started. But be sure that you don't immediately, as soon as the fever is gone, I want to go back to my training days. That is not going to happen. You have to take it easy.
I think there's been some concern that there's been the cardiac events after COVID and vaccination. So I think after COVID, it's a good idea to ramp it up slowly, start slow, and then don't suddenly start going back to your old running or exercise schedule. I think that's something we must do with caution. Okay, I think we've had a good session. Any questions? For the speakers? I think Dr. Sanghwan has already left because he had to go somewhere.
We have crossed our time limit also. We have extended, we have gone beyond.
I guess everybody was so engrossed in listening to you all, and it's really pleasure to have you all here. Seriously.
We had over 9,500 something registrants for AIOC meeting, but for the 5K run, I think we didn't have more than 35-40 people.
35-40.
Maybe
even Rishi didn't turn up for the run, if I remember.
Rishi got that it was cancelled.
I thought it was cancelled, so I didn't carry my running shoes actually.
Maybe next year CSI will participate in a better strength with guidance of you all runners.
And weather in Mumbai will be better that time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, hopefully.
Great. Yes.
Thank you
again.
Yes,
thank you all of you, and it's pleasure to have you all here, and such a wonderful evening spent, and inspiring evening with all you. I always believe that living is more important than making living. So if we are just able to live our life to the utmost, that's the goal of life. End of the day, what makes you happy is your call. And let's keep sharing our happiness and our achievement with each other. And I'm sure we all will make a better life.
Himanshu, what is the secret of your health, man?
Being happy, that's it.
Yeah, I think that's the secret. Is always happy.
I feel happy about it. Anything in life. So
anything in life.
Your achievement makes me happy. So let's
wow. Profound statement.
Well, that's
Swami Himanshu.
I think that's the ultimate meditation. I think Amrita will agree.
Let's just wind it up here, and let's have our Saturday left with our family.
Yes.
Happy Saturday, everyone. Happy weekend.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Happy
Thank
weekend.
you, everyone,
Bye-bye.
for joining in. Yeah.
Thank you, Rishi. Thank you, Sai,
very
and
much.
thank you, Gyan, for this wonderful show. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.